If you've never set up a Telebox before, usually you would just scan a QR code on the unit. Other than that, you can go to our website, press activate your Telebox on the top right. That will take you to the activation page. The next step is either adding it to an existing customer or creating a new customer. We have this, what we call a timeline. The timeline is effectively a separate legal entity. But generally speaking, if it's an individual, you would either use their name or their street. If it's a company, you would use the company name. The next and final step is to just give a bit of context about the unit, and really it's more for you so that you can search for the unit by postcode or by name. One other noteworthy thing, so once you've picked a location, if you picked an existing location, you have this additional feature replacing existing Telebox. So the idea behind this feature is if it's a really old box that you need to upgrade it, or someone stole it, or there's been a fire, whatever it may be, instead of spending half a day reconfiguring all of those things from scratch, Tether will just migrate it across. So once you've activated the box, you will receive an email similar to this. So you can always find the details in your email if you ever need to refer back to those details. The next step is to then add all of your devices. The system will pick up most devices automatically. So it's just a case of going to the table and seeing the device that you have. If the device is brand new out of the box, the system can activate a range of different models from different manufacturers. If the camera has already been set up, then we'll show a little helpful tooltip here saying that please enter the password for the camera. In most cases, the only thing you need to do when connecting cameras is you specify that password. You can double check that the password works. If you do want to start customizing how the cameras work, then we do have quite a lot of different functionality, including setting up subscriptions. So if you wanted to add health and safety, advanced cloud analytics, you can tick, I want health and safety, advanced analytics. If you want to switch on cloud backup, it's just as simple. So you select, I want to have 30 days. So very straightforward. You can specify masking as well. So you can specify schedules. If you have set this up to report events either to a user or to an alarm receiving center, you can customize specifically which events will be reported. It will still record, you can still find events by these analytics, but they will not send through an alarm. So that's how you customize the config of the camera. Setting up alarms is relatively straightforward as well. With Eaton, it's very straightforward. It will find the alarm and you can just specify the installer passcode, and then you have virtual keypad, full control over the panel. For Texacom, you need to specify the UDL password. You can find full information how to add Texacom by just clicking on the help button on the bottom right. You can either speak to us directly, so there is a live chat if you ever get stuck, or you can search, for instance, for Texacom, and then we have a page here that talks about how do you connect Texacom. Similarly with access control, you would click on access. We will, in this case on a demo unit, we have access disabled, but normally you would see a button to add a Paxton. You would press that button and then you just enter the IP address and the user credentials. And the next step is usually to add users, give them permissions. Under users, you can create new user and then decide what permissions that user has access to. But the idea is you can select multiple sites. So if I go to the demo, I can select other sites as well. And once you've picked the sites, it will also let you customize if you want them to have access to all cameras or specific devices. So that's what setting up users looks like. So by default, they'll receive an email. They can go straight into the platform and start using the product. So how do you add an alarm receiving center? It's pretty straightforward. You would have separate locations, and then each location might have different settings. You will edit your location, and if you switch over to the IMIX Sentinel, you can switch that on and then set up the details that they provided. So just by entering those details in this one place, all of the cameras, all the access control systems, all the alarm panels, everything that you have on that site will automatically start feeding through to the alarm receiving center. So that's roughly speaking an ideal site where you have your video, you have your alarms, you have your access, you have somebody that's going to call the police for you, call key holders, you have some form of subscription where they're getting additional value from either machine learning or cloud backup. And that's our vision at Tether, that you can build those solutions, you can add these different components